Hey guys, and welcome back to the Spruce and Linen channel. I'm Janelle, and today we are in the fiber studio because I needed a little bit more space, because today I'm going to show you how to take a big weaving off of a large loom. This is a question I've gotten a lot, and I know it can be a little bit intimidating if you've never done it before, so I am here to ease that stress and show you how I do it. So let's get started. This video is brought to you by the Spruce and Linen shop, where you can find weaving kits, tools, materials, and supplies. Link in the description box below. I have my loom laid down on the table. Depending on your loom, this may or may not be possible. There is no problem if you just want to pull the weaving right off of the loom as well and then lay it on the table and do all of this. But for the purpose of this video, oh, and I missed an end over here I need to tuck in. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to try to do this all on the table. And the first thing I want to talk about is, especially when you're working on a big loom, and this is something I only just started doing a little while back, I am doing a twining stitch or a hem stitch at both the top and bottom of my weavings, especially on big ones. This is going to help you out because it's going to help the warp strings not slip around quite as much as they would if you didn't have that. So when you just have, let's say, plain weave at the bottom, everything can kind of slip and slide around fairly easily. So on this weaving, I don't know if you can see, but I actually have, I'll try to lift it up. I actually have a wavy shaped piece of cardstock at the base of my weaving. Let's just, so you can see there, it's not just a straight piece. So the reason I did that is because I wanted that wavy bottom. And so something like this is even more important, that you make sure that you have a hem stitch or a twining stitch. And some of my warp strings have slipped off. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my measuring tape at the top here, and I'm going to make sure that this top edge is as straight as possible before I start taking it off the loom. Things do have a chance of shifting around a little bit, and that's okay because we'll measure again, but this just is a good starting point. So basically what I'm going to do now is on this top edge, I'm just going to start measuring and making sure that all the way across that measurement is the same from the top of my heddles to the top of the weaving. And this is gonna get, again, just make sure everything is as square as possible before we start taking it off. So in some areas I may have to pull the weaving back up a little bit, and other areas I might have to squish it down. Now I already did this once to make sure my edge was as straight as I could get it. So take the time here to make sure this is as straight as you can get it before taking it off the loom. Now that the top edge is about as straight as I can get it, I'm going to start taking this piece off the loom. Now, there are a few different ways that you can finish off your weaving. When I have a straight piece of cardstock or cardboard and it's easy to just kind of slip that out, then what I'll do is I will just take off my warp strings and tie them off one at a time while everything else is still attached to the loom, because then we're kind of under tension and things have less chance to slip. But in this case, where I have this wavy cardstock, as I showed you earlier, it's not easy to slip it out. I did try, and it's not going to be easy to slip out. So I'm going to have to pull the whole weaving off of the loom. Again, I have the style of heddles where I can just literally slip this off the loom. If you have the style where there's like a notch or the heddles are kind of angled or whatever, you can actually cut it. Just make sure you cut very close to your heddles so that you're giving yourself the longest amount of warp strings as possible, because that just makes it easier to tie. So just starting at one end, I'm going to start slipping my weaving off of the loom. And I know this can kind of seem a little scary, but I'm just going to go for it. And just being gentle, I'm not ripping it off. And I've got the bottom off now, and the top is just going to slip right off as well. So I'm going to pull those strings off. So here on the top, I'm just slipping off the strings. And now that the weaving is no longer attached to the loom, I'm gonna just take the loom out of the way. So now we're left with the weaving off of the loom, the paper is still in, and I'm going to slip the paper out. So I have to go from the middle here because everything is curved. And I'm just carefully pulling that out. Again, I have these taped together, which I now kind of regret. So now that I have the paper off, I'm just gonna start tying all my knots. I finished tying off the strings on the bottom of the weaving, and now I have flipped the weaving around and I'm gonna start working on the top. And just like before where you saw me measuring and making sure that everything was straight on the top, I'm gonna be doing that again. You don't necessarily have to measure every single string if things are looking fairly straight. You know, you could tie off a few and then measure again and just kind of periodically measure as you go across, just making sure everything is as straight as it can be. If you are nervous, go ahead and measure every single one. But for this, I'm just going to measure here and there, and I can see that this string, for instance, has not shifted at all. That's where the twining stitch or a hem stitch is going to really help you, is it just keeps everything a little bit more secure. So now that all the knotting is done on the top and the bottom, I'm going to start sewing in ends. So I'm starting at the bottom here. I'm going to sew all these ends in and sew all the ends in the top, and then I can proceed to tie this to a dowel. Now that I have all the ends tucked in on the top and the bottom, I like to leave these ends long until I've attached my dowel. We've made quite a few videos on how to attach the weaving to the dowel, but I'll show you really quickly a few stitches on how I do this. So first things first, with a large weaving, you really want to make sure you have enough string so you don't have to add an extra string later. I'm using quite a thick dowel here, so this is, I think, about an inch thick at least. And so I did about 4 times the length of the dowel for my string that I'm going to sew on. I'm going to start by this warp string right here. I'm just going to tuck the end in here, pull my needle off. And then I'm taking one of those strings, this is part of why I don't cut these strings right away, and I am going to tie a knot, and it's around a warp string, so I know it's going to be really nice and secure, and that'll just be the beginning of our sewing to the dowel process. So then I'm going to just cut these to the same length, and I'm going to tuck these ends in a little further than where they were before, just so they don't poke out again. But now that they're knotted, they're not going anywhere. This is just to give it that nice little finish. So then I'm going to get all the way to the other end of my string. And I'm going to go up through a few of my weft strings, and I'm going to come in through. So I'll pull this out a little bit just so you can see. I have a knot here. There is a string going this way and a string going this way. So these are 2 weft strings knotted together. Now the idea when you're sewing onto a dowel is that you want to go in between the 2 strings for each knot. I like to skip a knot, so I'll go through these, skip that one, go through these, skip that one. And you want to make sure that you're in between the 2 strings in whichever knot you're working on, because that way when you're pulling up on this, there's nowhere for it to go, where if you're pulling in between, you're going to be pulling onto the weft strings. We want to be pulling onto this knot because that is the secure part, and we want to make sure that we're not pulling up on our weft strings, especially on a heavier weaving. This is going to cause sagging and it might misshapen your weaving. So I'm going to go through a few weft strings, and I'm going to come up in between those 2 warp strings, and I'm just making sure here that I am indeed through those. And I'm going to pull all that string through. And again, this is a little bit of a tedious process since we're working on such a large weaving. So now that I'm through there, and this is part of why I like working from the back too, because I can better see where those strings are for each knot. But now that I've gone through there, I'm going to go through that same spot, and then that's going to be going around the dowel this time. So that's our first kind of sewn area. So then, like I said, I like to skip a knot and then go to the next one. And again, just seeing where those 2 strings are coming from and fishing your needle in between. Don't worry about it being a little bit loosey-goosey right now. I'm gonna go back in and tighten this all later, but you're just gonna continue that same process again, seeing where those 2 strings are, coming between them, and then going around the dowel. I'm going to continue that process all the way across the weaving and tie it off basically in the same way I tied it on. Is all finished and it's on the wall, and as you can see by the way it's hanging so nice and straight. There isn't anything weird going on with the sides or things like really bubbling out, and that is where all of that prep work that I did and showed you and all that measuring really matters, and that's what's going to get you that super straight, nice hanging. Next, I'm going to steam out the fringe and cut it. I'm trying something a little bit different with this piece. Normally I try to get my fringe super even and super straight on the bottom, but I think I want this one to have a little bit more of an organic feel. So I'm gonna attempt that. So here we go. So I know we weren't really talking about fringe cutting today. We were mostly talking about taking a large weaving off the loom, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this. So normally, if you've been following me for a while, you've seen that I do the fringe really even and really straight as much as I can. But I wanted to try something different. I've done it that way for so long and so many times. I was kind of ready to try something different. So, and especially with a mixed fringe like this, I felt like it really suited it. So I kept with the curve of the weaving. So the overall, and I'll stand back here, the overall is still following that curve of my weaving, but I just allowed it to be uneven, and I even cut some pieces a little bit shorter, and just to kind of make it really obvious that it was intentional for the fringe to be different layers. But back to what we were originally talking about, and that was taking a large weaving off the loom. I hope this really helped you and took some of that potential fear away. It is very simple. It's exactly the same as taking a small weaving off the loom. It's just on a bigger scale, and I know that can be a little bit intimidating, but I hope this was helpful for you to just see that it's not that scary, especially if you utilize a twining stitch or a hem stitch just to keep everything really in place. Have a measuring tape on hand, and I'm really excited to see you guys make some large pieces, so make sure you tag me on Instagram, and you can also use hashtag #SLWeavingClub. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell to get notifications when I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. I don't know what sentence I just said. I feel like it was not the right words.